All right, let's dive right into this explainer, where we're going to unpack the absolute fascinating intersection of modern law, true crime, and ancient human instincts. Today, we're looking at a highly documented legal case that, on the surface, just looks like a straightforward story of internet censorship. But you might be wondering, why does this actually matter to us? Well, because the exact same biological instincts driving this specific case are literally secretly governing the institutions, networks, and legal systems you and I interact with every single day. When we dig deeper into the source material, it reveals something deeply profound about human nature. We're going to examine the case of a physicist, Dr. Chen Yuan, and analyze it through a completely unexpected lens, evolutionary psychology. Here is our quick roadmap for today. Part 1, the retweet case. Part 2, prosecution versus defense. Part 3, the evolutionary psychology lens. Part 4, the tribal defense mechanism. Part 5, the scholar's adaptive strategy. And Part 6, the modern mismatch. Section 1, the retweet case, a criminal charge in the information age. First, let's get the basic timeline and facts of the case straight from the official court documents.
This is the core question that really anchors our entire analysis of Dr. Chen Yuan, a physicist whose online activity triggered a massive legal response. It's a question of scale and proportion, right? How does an action so seemingly microscopic in the vast ocean of the internet result in such a severe, physical, real-world consequence?
So according to the legal files, Dr. Chen was arrested at his home by a team of police officers in late September 2022. Fast forward to January 2023, he was officially indicted under the charge of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. He was subsequently sentenced to 20 months in prison, his appeal was rejected, and he was incarcerated. And it was actually during this time that he wrote a highly detailed scientific defense document that he referred to as his blood letter.
So, what exactly did he do? The prosecution's evidence consisted entirely of network posts he had saved and shared on an overseas social media platform accessed via a VPN. Now think about the nature of the content he was sharing. He wasn't out there organizing a real-world movement. Incredibly, he was retweeting art, like a comic of an umbrella girl, emotional reflections, complex theoretical articles evaluating different political systems, and just various historical data points. The idea that sharing a cartoon of an umbrella girl helped trigger a severe, coordinated police response is almost hard to wrap your head around, but he simply categorized his actions as the natural data collection of a curious, independent scholar. And here is a number you absolutely need to remember: 100. Dr. Chen had fewer than 100 followers on this platform. Mostly they were inactive accounts, what you'd call zombie accounts. His retweets generated virtually zero real-world interaction, no likes, no massive cascading viral threads. In network topology terms, he was an absolute edge node. Section 2. Prosecution versus defense, the courtroom collision. The clash between these two perspectives is where the psychology of this case really starts to emerge. This brilliantly illustrates the divide. The court viewed his high education as a weapon, while Dr. Chen viewed it as a tool for academic skepticism. The prosecution argued that his advanced degrees were actually proof of malicious intent, basically saying he's smart, he should be able to discern right from wrong, and therefore intentionally spread false information, causing severe social disruption. Dr. Chen, acting as his own advocate, applied complex systems theory to his defense. He argued that as an edge node with no engagement, his actions caused literally zero physical disruption, and that questioning and saving diverse viewpoints is just the fundamental job of a scientific mind. The official verdict explicitly cited his high level of education as a reason he should have known the content was considered illegal by the authorities. The court didn't measure the physical disruption of his tweets, but rather the ideological deviation of a highly educated citizen who they felt was breaking a fundamental social contract. Section 3. Evolutionary psychology lens, looking beyond the law. To understand why these two sides clash so intensely and seemingly spoke past one another entirely, we're going to step away from the legal arguments for a second and look at the biology of human behavior. Evolutionary psychology suggests that all of our brains are still wired to solve the survival problems of our hunter-gatherer ancestors. Our psychological structures, how we perceive threats, how we form alliances, how we react to strangers, they're all modular adaptations designed to maximize survival in small, ancient tribes. They definitely weren't designed to navigate the global internet. So, the absolutely crucial point here is that we can view modern institutions, like the judicial system, through the lens of ancient tribal survival instincts. The source analysis suggests that this isn't just a story of a legal system enforcing a rule, it's a story of a biological tribe reacting to a perceived threat to its survival and cohesion.
Section 4.
The tribal defense mechanism, protecting the Ingroup. Let's examine how the court's actions perfectly mirror ancient tribal defense strategies. This really helps explain the sheer scale of the response to such a tiny online action.
Mapping ancient behaviors directly to modern actions shows how the system prioritizes hierarchical stability and hypervigilance over pure factual assessment. Think about it. In ancient times, foreign ideas often meant a hostile neighboring tribe. Today, that translates to prosecuting the use of foreign information networks. Ancient tribes needed strict dominance hierarchies to survive. Today, a highly educated scholar stepping out of line is punished to maintain that order. It's all about sending a clear signal to the rest of the group.
The analysis suggests the court's harsh response was driven by something called an overactive cheater detection mechanism. In evolutionary terms, a tribe absolutely must punish free riders or those who break social contracts to maintain trust. The judicial system perceived Dr. Chen as a norm breaker who enjoyed the safety of the group but betrayed the group's core ideological narrative. To the tribal brain, this is a dangerous betrayal that has to be excised.
Evolutionary theory calls this error management theory or a defensive bias. Imagine an ancient human hears a rustling in a bush. If they assume it's a lion and run, but it was just the wind, that's a false positive, a false alarm. It costs a little energy. But if they assume it's the wind and it actually is a lion, that's a false negative, and they die. Therefore, our brains evolved to overwhelmingly favor false alarms. Systems would much rather risk a false alarm and jail a harmless scholar than risk a missed threat, that so-called butterfly effect, that they fear could destabilize the whole societal tribe. Section 5. The Scholar's Adaptive Strategy. Prestige versus Dominance. But what about Dr. Chen's psychology? How does evolution explain his refusal to simply yield, apologize, and go home? Because remember, he too is running on that exact same evolutionary software. By enduring prison and writing complex logical defenses rather than giving in, Dr. Chen was engaging in what's known as costly signaling. Just like a peacock growing an enormous heavy tail to prove it has great genetics, Dr. Chen endured the extremely high cost of imprisonment to honestly signal the unyielding strength of his intellect and his commitment to truth. It's genuinely fascinating to view human resilience not just as a moral stance, but as a deeply embedded biological signaling mechanism. He was essentially proving to his peers that his academic integrity couldn't be bought or intimidated.
The psychological analysis notes that this is a meme survival strategy. He knew he was physically defeated in the short term by the system's power, so he sacrificed his immediate physical freedom to ensure his ideas, his logic, and his reputation, his memes, survive across time. It's a highly advanced evolutionary strategy. He's focusing on long-term historical survival rather than just short-term physical comfort.
This conflict perfectly illustrates two distinct evolutionary paths to status. The system relies on sheer dominance, like the alpha in a pack, maintaining order through force. The scholar, on the other hand, relies on prestige, gaining respect by demonstrating high intelligence, exploring new frontiers, and remaining resilient under intense pressure. They are literally two ancient behavioral programs colliding in a modern courtroom.
Section 6. The Modern Mismatch. Stone Age Brains, Information Age. Finally, we reach the ultimate theory that brings his whole explainer together. The mismatch hypothesis tells us that our ancient mental software frequently crashes when running on modern hardware. What was highly adaptive on the African savanna 50,000 years ago can be terribly destructive in a globally connected, hyper-fast digital society.
The real tragedy, according to the source material, is that the legal system used a mental mechanism designed for a physical enemy with a spear to deal with the scholar sitting at a keyboard. The system's threat detection module was wildly overactivated by an environment, the internet, where information just flows limitlessly. It treated a microscopic digital retweet with the exact same existential panic as a physical invasion of the tribe.
I'll leave you with this thought to take away from this explainer. As we build incredibly complex, globally integrated networks, we are still policing them using the psychological reflexes of hunter-gatherers. As our technology scales infinitely, can our ancient evolutionary instincts ever truly keep up? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating case with us.